The electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years, but not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
You're listening to the State of Our Football Nation on FNR.
Hard to believe, but it's that time of the week again. Yes, it's time for State of Our Football Nation on FNR, Football Nation Radio. George Danikian, along with Josh Parrish, to talk football, to talk about the Round Ball Code, and to discuss the fact that we're, almost 30 days away from a brand new A-League season, a new A-League women's season, and a new A-League youth season. Can you believe it, Josh?
Yeah, it's been the longest off-season ever, or at least it's felt like it. And I'm really excited for the football to get back underway after such a long break.
What's also seriously exciting is the announcement only yesterday of the Channel 10 Paramount Plus team. And it looks like a pretty fair spread of new talent, a couple of old heads. And I'm sure Simon Hill won't mind me saying that. Andy Harper, mate. But it's good to see some very familiar faces. Tara Rushton may well be the host of the Saturday night show, which will be, I suppose, their feature production, which will lead them into the game, the feature game of the round, the halftime break, and then, of course, the post, which is much of what she did at her time at Fox. What have you made of that?
Yeah, I mean, a lineup with many faces already familiar to Australian football fans. I think important to note this is the Channel 10 lineup, and the Paramount Plus lineup editions have not yet been announced. So that's the explanation as to why Simon Hill is the only play-by-play caller listed amongst them. There will be a few extras added to the Paramount Plus lineup when the full roster of presenters and commentators is revealed. So I'm excited to see who Paramount and Viacom CBS plums for in those roles, because I think that's the most important position to get viewers watching the game and keep them watching the A-League. If there are commentators that grate or that people aren't fans of, it can make watching the league very, very difficult. You can never please anybody when you're behind the mic, as I've found out in my NPL stuff. But I'm interested to see who's lined up to get those games, assuming Simon isn't doing 6 games a weekend.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would be the best way to use Simon, but it's going to be exciting. I think what I'm really excited about, and I wonder if you've got a copy of the new Channel 10 ad that started already working across the marketplace.
Yeah, that's marvelous work, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. It's really engaging. I think it spoke to the experience of both existing A-League fans, but also just the wider football community and the grassroots participants that we're trying to convert into A-League fans. Great ad. I really enjoyed it.
Did you like the fact the ball went over the fence and it took the old guy to kick it back?
Yeah, I think that's the grassroots experience that it was connecting to. I think that's a universal one. Everyone who grew up kicking a football would relate to that. So yeah, that was marvelous. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, look, I think that also, in very many ways, is the best example where 10 and Paramount Plus are likely to take the game.
Mm.
They're looking at youth, of course, because that's the promise of tomorrow. And they're the new fans, they're your customers. And excitingly, they're pitching it in a manner that is as appealing and as exciting as possible. They're letting all the tricks out. It's almost like, every World Cup, we get a composite side of superstars, and whether it's Nike or Adidas or whoever has the rights, you see them in this fantasy game at halftime and kicking the ball to each other. And it's been quite spectacular. And it has a little touches of that.
Yeah, I think all the best sports promotions take you back to your childhood and the original magic of the game in some sense, no matter what the code is. So I think that's a tried and tested formula to, elicit an emotional reaction from the audience and get them on side. So yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Now, before we get to our first guest, who is, of course, one of the two Carls. We have two Carls today. Carl Robinson from Western Sydney Wanderers and Carl Veart, the coach of the Adelaide Reds. And we'll be talking to Carl Veart first. But before we get there, I just want to find out what's the latest, the state of play on the NPL decision that we've been waiting almost a couple of weeks for. You promised me that this week we would have a decision. Mm-hmm. Has there been an outcome, and was it one that makes sense, or have we seen them basically find a way not to make a decision?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised and a little bit, disappointed to see that there have been no promotions into the NPL ranks. There have only been a few movements based on a vacancy that occurred in State League One and one club moving up the ranks from each division below. So that was going to be filled anyway. That was inevitable. So there are no major structural changes to the competitions, no expansion of numbers, no teams promoted based on table position into the NPL or up the NPL divisions in Victoria, and not even expansion of the WNPL, which I think was the bare minimum, to be honest. 8 teams is just not enough. It's a very limited competition, which is been a closed league for a long time, and finally we got Pro Rel to the newly named Women's Super League, the second division, and the season didn't get completed, and now we're still stuck with the same 8 teams. WNPL is becoming very stale in Victoria in particular. I'm very disappointed for both Preston and Boroondara, who weren't elevated in that. But it seems as if the decision that was supposed to be made on Thursday night was voted down, and now, as we heard from the United Football Group, they might be considering their legal options.
Josh, was it a case of voted down, or was it a case of put in the too hard basket?
Yeah, well, everything I heard out of the meeting was that it was successful. So it's very strange to turn around and see the news yesterday that it wasn't. I wonder what's happened in the meantime and why the news seems to have changed. Maybe my mail was wrong. Maybe it was voted down on Thursday night, but it just seems as if inaction is the easy way out here. And I'm disappointed because I think it would have reinvigorated a competition that has had 2 abandoned seasons and no movement in those 2 years.
And if you think about it, it would play or dovetail beautifully with the arrival of the new look A-League, men's, women's and youth. It would show you that we're turning a chapter, we're turning the page and making something positive and bringing the old and the new closer and closer together. And some of the grand old clubs that have been on the outer, that haven't had a chance to showcase and flex their muscle, we need them back in the competitions, all competitions, ASAP. And of course, we're getting a snippet of that. We're getting a touch of that and a flavour of that with the FFA Cup, which is now down to the final 16. And we'll be talking to Carl Veart because his Reds got very successful only the other day, the last weekend.
Yeah,
they took on Adelaide Olympic. And what happened there?
They did indeed. It was a local derby, if you like. I'm not sure if it's a derby if these 2 teams don't have much history of playing each other, but certainly a local rivalry of NPL side versus A-League is always good fun to watch. Early goal off a set piece, but after that, Olympic really held their own with quite a young midfield, and I thought played quite well. There was chances for Adelaide to polish it off for sure in the second half. Ben Halloran, the chief amongst them, missing a really good one-on-one opportunity and a penalty, which is brilliantly saved by Lewis Moss, the tall and spindly and quite crafty goalkeeper for Olympic.
Hang on. Gamesmanship has been very much in the news all week.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me, was this as in your guise as a one-time referee, legit or pushing the edge?
I think all great gamesmanship, George, is pushing the envelope slightly and seeing what you can get away with. And in this case, it was pouring a little bit of his water bottle on the penalty spot, which didn't please Ben Halloran too much. I don't think it made any material difference to the surface, but It's all about getting in the head, right? And Lewis Moss did a marvellous job of that.
So you're telling me Halloran missed the penalty, huh?
Yeah, it was a brilliant save. It was one of those at a quote-unquote good height for a goalkeeper, but it was hit mighty hard, and he got across really, really fast, got a strong right hand to it, and tipped it over the crossbar, which is a brilliant effort from, semi-pro goalkeeper who's a wildlife photographer in his day-to-day job. So I suppose he's pretty active.
I was going to say, this is what happens when you do something a little bit out of the norm, and suddenly you get this rush of publicity your way. What the media does, of course, is it starts scouring every contingency, every possibility to find out a bit more about you, whoever you might be. Mm-hmm. So good to know that we have a rather cheeky, spindly goalkeeper who is up to no good most of the time and does a pretty good job getting away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. He was great value. I love the characters. In terms of who actually stood out as maybe a prospect on the day was young Michael Cittadina, who was playing in a sort of attacking midfield role. I thought he was exceptional, and I only found out after the game that he's only 18 years old. So I think he may have turned some heads with that performance, and I wouldn't be hugely surprised to see him on the books of an A-League club before long.
Now, yet again, the FFA Cup proving to be a terrific shopping window for clubs looking for talent outside the normal venues that they go seeking talent.
Yeah, and it's always hard to judge that talent based on the quality of opposition. But when you're playing against an A-League team and the pressure's on and the quality is there that you're playing against, I think it makes it a safer bet for clubs who are examining a guy in the NPL and thinking, can he cut it? So it is such a good shop window because of the intention, but I think it's a proving ground as well.
Look, we've got our first guest just about ready to join us. His name is Carl Veart. He's the coach of the Adelaide Reds, and he's given some youngsters, some seriously talented youngsters, a terrific opportunity over the last season or two. And I'm just wondering, has he got a few more in his kitty that he might unleash for the opening rounds of the new A-League, which is just about a month away? We might take a break. This is State of Our Football Nation. Josh Parrish, of course, running the gun and looking after the whole program, and yours truly, George Tanekian. We do this every Thursday. It gives us a chance to find out a bit more about what's happening in the game across the country and across the world. This is SUFN, or State of Our Football Nation, on FNR.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years, but not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
You're listening to the State of Our Football Nation on FNR.
State of Our Football Nation on FNR. George Denethian, Josh Parrish running the controls, and the first of the Carls joining us on the program is Carl Veart. Carl, welcome to the program. Good to have you on board.
Thank you for having me.
And can you believe the season is almost upon us?
Yeah, it seems like it was an eternity last season, so very much looking forward to the start of this new season.
Now, you've had the opportunity in South Australia and in WA to play some regular football and regular competition. It's been a bit more difficult for the eastern states. What have you enjoyed most? Is it getting a bit more understanding into the youngsters, or testing a few more in the kitty and seeing just how much talent you have? Because some of the youngsters that have come out of the Adelaide nursery, they've been astonishing.
Yeah, I suppose we've brought a couple more younger players into the squad this year, and they've had a run out in the FA Cup so far, and it's been exciting to see them. And it's just exciting to get back and play some games that mean something. So it gives us a lot more focus from the players, and and we can give them more feedback in those games as well.
One of those youngsters, a 15-year-old called Nestor. Tell us a bit more about Nestor.
Yeah, young Nestor, he joined our youth program at the beginning of this season. He was, before that, he was at the Adelaide Raiders Soccer Club, and we brought him across to the youth team. And yeah, he's a very exciting young boy. He had a run out with us on Tuesday night in one of our trial games, and he scored a goal. So look, he's another one of these exciting young players that have a lot of speed and like to run at defenders.
Carl Veart, the one thing I would say normally would be it must be in the water. But having lived in Adelaide, I know it's not in the water, mate. So no smart Adelaidean would drink anything resembling Adelaide water. So what is it? What are we doing right in South Australia? We've seen this with this absolute rush of youngsters, and Nestor is 15. And you gave him a run at the paddock against the Para Hills Knights on Tuesday, and he scored a goal. So what is it that you're doing right?
Look, I think at the introduction of the new curriculum going back, what was that, maybe 9-10 years ago, South Australia really embraced that. The Federation really embraced it, and the